Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2 is here, and in this video we want to break down all of the reveals and crazy things that happened in the episode, what we think they will mean for the future of the show and the future of the MCU, mainly the legacy of Captain America. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. And again, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, get on out of here, or maybe you don't care about spoilers, then stick around.
I'm going to allow that.
Now, for me personally, I thought episode 2 was much better than episode 1, and that's not even to say that episode 1 was bad. I actually liked episode 1, but I thought episode 2 was way better, much more up my alley, and setting the show up for just some crazy, crazy things to come. If episode 1 kind of started things up, episode 2 really took things into the next stage and really just kind of ramped everything up. The stakes, the action, the intensity, all of it gets ramped up. And I think the most interesting aspect of this episode was how it begins in sort of a cold open with the John Walker character. And we learn a lot about John Walker in a small period of time. And as opposed to the way he's introduced at the end of episode 1, the introduction to the character in episode 2 actually makes him more likable. He's in his high school football locker room talking to his high school sweetheart, talking about high school memories, talking about duty, talking about the job of being Captain America. I mean, his friend and partner in arms in Lamar Hoskins, and just in general, we're sort of left with a positive impression of the character of John Walker. He even does a little interview. He's talking about how he's not Bruce Banner. He's not Tony Stark. He has what he has. We're also shown some footage of him working with the Shield. It's pretty crazy, and more or less given the impression that he is an elite athlete and an elite soldier. That was really interesting and kind of crazy that the show would establish that after setting him up to be this character everybody's going to hate, then to kind of come in and be like, oh, but he's not that bad, and to kind of have it so that a lot of the world is accepting the John Walker character was really interesting. I thought it was funny how Sam has to see those posters everywhere. Bucky, of course, sees what's going on. He gets super pissed and comes to yell at Sam. And man, was this great. Finally having these two characters together, I think is perfect. This is the whole formula for the show. I almost wish they had linked up in episode 1, but it's all good because when they finally do in episode 2, it is well worth the wait. And I loved the dynamic established. Bucky is pissed. He's super pissed that Sam wouldn't just take up the shield. He wouldn't just do what Steve had asked. Now, it's way more complicated for Sam, but Bucky coming in hot, being pissed and not liking John Walker, the fact that John Walker has the shield, I gotta be honest, I didn't fully see that coming. I thought it was awesome, makes a lot of sense for the characters, and it set them off with a lot of interesting conflict to sort of be wrestled over as they went about their tasks. And of course, they're going after the Flag Smashers, trying to figure out what's going on with that organization, and Bucky's along for the ride. They're fighting about the legacy of the shield. All the while, they then get into a big conflict with the Flag Smashers, and then actual new Captain America shows up with his apparent sidekick in Blast Star. That's not my name. Super cool fight ensues. You get to see that John Walker's not half bad with that shield, and they did end up saving Bucky and Sam's butts in some ways, but none of them come out triumphantly as the whole group gets away, and those super soldiers pretty much kicked everybody's butts. Now, the next thing that happens that's really interesting is we really see the wedge between Bucky and John Walker, and even though John Walker up until this point has done everything right by the books and has been generally a good guy, for whatever reason, Bucky can see right through it, and he sees something else going on there, and that triggers John Walker. There's instantly some super bad blood between them, and I think it's pretty cool. Now, basically, in the wake of this super soldier problem, John Walker and the government are trying to solve this, trying to help and figure things out, and they want to work with Bucky and Sam because they're assets. John's just trying to finish the mission, get this thing handled. But Sam and Bucky are not feeling that. They're going to go their own way. And they do, and this is when Bucky goes to try to recruit Isaiah Bradley, who is revealed to be a sort of secret, hidden black super soldier that had been working for the United States government and possibly even wielding the Captain America shield, although I'm not 100% on that. That was the case in the comics, but not 100% sure that was in the episode. Regardless, that is established in the episode, which brings in a whole nother can of worms, which we're covering in a whole separate video. I highly recommend you check that video out when it comes out. But suffice it to say, for now, this puts just a whole bunch of more layers onto all of this stuff for Sam, right? He's just grappling with a lot at this point, grappling with the legacy of the shield, the fact that he said no to it, the fact that there was potentially a black Captain America, the fact that there were black super soldiers, all of this interesting stuff that Sam is grappling with, all the while trying to solve this problem of the Flag Smashers. And the bottom line with that scene is, like, Isaiah Bradley is just not there for them. Like, he's not going to help them, right? And he's clearly got some kind of damage from the trauma from the super soldier serum, something to that effect. And then Sam and Bucky get in an argument outside the house, end up getting picked up by the police. There's a warrant out for Bucky's arrest. It's a lot of like trouble that then just all gets sorted out by everybody's favorite Captain America in John Walker. He comes in, clears both of them, makes it so that Bucky no longer has to even have his therapy, which is really interesting. I didn't even know he had the authority to do that, but that's wild. And he basically just gets Sam and Bucky out of it after doing one very hilarious staring competition / therapy session with that therapist military lady.
Just blink, sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
106.
And so then, free to go, they are offered to help again with John Walker's mission to stop all of this going down. They're still like, nah, fam, even though you just helped us out, we don't like you, John Walker. Get out of our face. We don't want to see you anymore. And then John Walker's like, okay, fine, but then just stay out of my way. And the episode ends with Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes kind of deciding together that they are going to go get Zemo, break Zemo out of prison, or at least go talk to him in order to get the secrets of Hydra, to find out more about the super soldier serum, the programs, who the Flag Smashers are, and what the F is going on. And so I guess, frankly, I think episode 2 did a great job of establishing more sort of interesting things for each character to grapple with, each character to grapple with each other and their own relationship and the legacy of Steve. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, while also this really cool sort of machination between the power broker, who are the Flag Smashers, what is going on with John Walker, because in the comics, of course, you know, slight spoiler alert, but the power broker ends up being the person that gives John Walker the super soldier serum. He becomes just as strong as Steve Rogers. It's a pretty scary thing. And we think, especially after them getting their butts kicked by the Flag Smashers with Bucky and Sam, that Blastar, that's not my name, and U.S. Agent, or the new Captain America, will take the power broker up on that offer and get the super soldier serum. I think it's dope. I think there's so many things sort of spinning around and going to be coming into play. Zemo himself is going to be interesting, have his own machinations. And I sort of said this in the live stream after we watched the episode, but what a perfect character to have these two broken characters in Sam and Bucky, and they have all this baggage and all these issues. What a perfect character. Zemo, throw him into the mix. He'll be able to tease them, toy, twist, turn them on each other, do all sorts of crazy stuff. It's going to be really fun to watch. Zemo's the perfect sort of match to the powder keg of trauma that is going on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier right now. The idea of Bucky sort of being a force that is trying to just convince Sam that Steve was right and get him to take up the legacy is very interesting. I didn't actually see that happening. I thought it might have even been the opposite. And then you sort of compound that with this just hatred that Bucky has towards John Walker, and the possibility that Bucky might actually see John Walker for who or what he is, and that having to do maybe with Bucky's own personal demons. It's just really intriguing. I'm quite excited about this second episode. I think it was a really nice sort of ramping up of the show. I think we touched on some dope, and I think we're headed towards some crazy, crazy stuff, including the possibility of some Thunderbolt stuff, including the possibility of Sam actually taking up the mantle of the Captain America legacy, and even the possibility of Bucky Barnes going dark side and joining the Thunderbolts, which I will be doing more theory videos on as well. But that's pretty much it, guys. The sort of breakdown of episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all the crazy little things that happen, and some speculation on where we think this is all headed for the show and the MCU. Let us know what you think about all of this and more in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.